that brings up another point, because a lot of you also want to improve your posture. You want to improve your stamina and everyday movement. We can't do that if we don't do strength training. Okay. And it's not about being a gym rat. It's about being independent, pain-free, and strong in your 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond. Okay. Another thing it does is that it builds some real self-esteem, self-confidence, because a lot of the time, hi, my name is Moe Ghias. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning. Hello. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Mo. This is our first podcast after Ramadan. So Ramadan ended last Saturday for us, and then we celebrated Eid al-Fitr 2025 on Sunday. So super excited to be back. I can have my coffee now. I'm actually drinking it right now while I film. And also, if you're watching the video, you can see my Training with the Titans hoodie. If you want to support this podcast, by the way, this is, I think, $40 on our website. You can just go to twtt.us, and there should be an option for store. And we have so many options, so many hoodies, shirts, anything, bro tanks, gym stuff. You can just purchase it from there. We don't get 100% of the proceeds, but it does help as we're sponsoring this. So if you like the content on Healthy Systems and you want me to keep doing this, feel free to support us. And this gear is pretty sick. I bought a lot of these. I sent them to my clients, also for family members. But if you want to buy your own, go to twt.tt.us, and then you can click on store to go further. But today's episode, I'm super excited about because it's a topic that is not often talked about. But if you employ this in your life, right? Deploy this in your life. Not only will you be summer ready, right now is April. Summer is about 12 weeks away, right? You want to get summer ready. You're going to need to start doing this, because far too often people aren't doing this one thing, which is strength training. So today we'll talk about why every Muslim woman needs strength training. Okay. And I think the reason I'm naming it this way is because far too often I talk to Muslim women and talk to Muslim clients, and there's this like huge misconception about how strength training is just for men. And it's just not true. It's just not the case. Today, we'll dive into the benefits. We'll also talk about the downsides if you do not do this, okay? Because there's a lot of downsides to this. So let's dive in. We'll talk about the truth about fat loss, confidence, staying strong for the rest of your life. So if you're a Muslim woman who's been walking, dieting, and trying all the right things, but your body still isn't changing, this episode is for you. So for the next 10 minutes or so, buckle in. If you're driving, like just, listen to this. If you're at home, take some notes. And overall, let me know how you like this type of content, because I love creating it and I love spreading the message. And a lot of the time, even my own current clients watch this stuff and listen to the episodes. So I even love just giving them more reminders of why this is so, so important. So today I'll break down why strength training is the missing piece and what happens if you just keep avoiding it. Okay. So I'll break it down into 5 different reasons, and then I'll also give you 5 downsides of not doing this. Okay. So number 1, why we do strength training and why every Muslim woman needs strength training. Number 1, strength training is a fat loss accelerator. So if you can write this down. Strength training equals fat loss accelerator. Okay. You see, cardio burns more calories in the moment. So when you're walking, when you're running, when you're swimming, when you're, on a bicycle, when you're on a Peloton bike, when you're, any of those cardiovascular exercises, they burn more calories in the moment. Strength training builds muscle, which burns calories 24/7. Okay. So on one side, you're burning calories just for those 30 minutes or 20 minutes you're doing it, which is cardio. With the muscle and strength training, you're actually burning calories 24/7, even when you're sleeping. That muscle is an active tissue, so it's constantly burning calories every hour, okay? Which is amazing, right? Because more muscle equals higher metabolism. Far too often when I talk to our Muslim, clients, far too often what I see is their metabolism is very slow. And on top of that, you add in diabetes in the family, hypertension, insulin resistance problems, PCOS, hypothyroidism. You have all of those on top of low muscle, you are screwed, right? Your chances of ever getting out of this diet trap and weight loss trap is almost very, very little. So more muscle increases your metabolic rate. It increases your metabolism. And that means you're going to be burning more fat at rest. So even when you're sitting and even when you're working, you're burning more fat than an average person that has less muscle than you, right? So you don't need to give up walking. Keep walking. Walking is great. A lot of time I'm recording these episodes and I'm walking, right, on my treadmill. But on its own, walking alone is not enough, right? So you can, for example, you can walk 10,000 steps a day and still not lose weight if your metabolism is slow, right? So you can walk 10,000 steps a day, which is about 2 hours of walking, if not more. If your metabolism is slow, you're still not going to lose weight. So that's why strength training fixes that. So the number one benefit of strength training is that it is a fat loss accelerator. So it accelerates the rate you can lose fat by just improving your metabolic rate, giving you more muscle and just getting you stronger. So that's number one. Okay. Now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm going to actually give you some downsides. So 5 downsides of not strength training. Okay. Because the first thing alone should actually help motivate you to do strength training, which is fat loss. It'll just help you burn more fat, which is a huge plus. But if that doesn't sell you yet, you're like, oh man, I don't know. Everybody says lifting weights is for men. Listen along. Here are the downsides if you don't listen to this. Number one downside to not doing strength training is slower metabolism. Right. And when you have a slower metabolism, you're going to gain more fat. You're going to store more fat. And I'm telling you, no remedy like ginger and turmeric is going to help you burn more fat. It just won't. Right. It's not going to magically like kill the fat cells. They're still there. They're still around your belly and your love handles. They are not going away. Matter of fact, even when we build muscle, those fat cells, as big as they are, right, they don't just go away. They just get smaller. So even when you lose fat, they just get smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's what you want. So like a lot of the time there's this like whole misconception of like, oh, it's just air and like you just decrease the inflammation and the fat goes away. No. That's just marketing talk. It's not how biochemistry actually works, right? So if you genuinely want to lose fat, you're going to need to do some strength training because it'll help you. And again, I'll tell you what strength training is. I feel like some of you might think that strength training is lifting barbells and doing CrossFit and doing all of that muscle building Arnold Schwarzenegger type stuff. No, I'm just talking like we can buy some dumbbells at home. I'm talking we can buy some kettlebells at home, and in your bedroom we can set aside some yoga mats, situation and have you do some like kettlebell squats. We can do like all sorts of stuff just at home. So we don't need to go crazy on this. But if we start building some muscle, your metabolism will improve. But if we don't do it, it's going to slow down your metabolism. And muscle is our metabolic engine, right? That sounds so fancy, but what it means is without muscle, your body just burns fewer calories, even when you're eating clean. So even when you're eating super clean, you're just burning fewer calories. That means you're storing more calories, which means the fat cells are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Number 2, loss of muscle. So as you get older, if you're not strength training, you are going to keep losing muscle that you already have. So now you're losing muscle every year, right? That means faster aging and weakness. So if you want to look younger and if you want to live longer, you're going to need to strength train, right? Like if you look at all these celebrities, right? From like the Kardashians to all the Bollywood girlies, right? Dude, I've seen their workout programs and some of the trainers that coach them are actually friends of mine. Their workouts are very heavy on strength training. They obviously do some Pilates here and there and they do some cardiovascular, but these girls can deadlift. These girls can squat. These girls are like heavily muscle focused exercises. That's how they get those toned figures. That's how they get those abs. That's how like when they wear those saris or when they wear those dresses, you could see their midsection is tight, is toned, right? That tone doesn't come from mixing ginger and turmeric and drinking it. That tone comes from lifting weights, right? That tone comes from doing strength training. So remember that. Downsides, right? We're talking about downsides of not doing it. Number 1, metabolism is slower. Number 2, you're going to start losing muscle. Number 3, this one hits home for a lot of our people, which is higher risk of hormonal issues. If you don't do strength training, you're going to have a higher risk of having PCOS, insulin resistance, all kinds of problems, right? And what that does is now strength training helps regulate your blood sugar. So like when you eat food, that glucose in your bloodstream, if you have more muscle and you're lifting weights, that's going to properly regulate. It's going to send that glucose to the proper muscles. So then that glucose won't just be sitting in your bloodstream forever. It actually goes to the proper housing in the body. So then you won't have insulin resistance and diabetes problems later on. So that's number 3. Number 4, your body won't change. You see, cardio makes you smaller. That's all it's going to do, but it will not tone you up. It will not give you that figure that you genuinely want, right? So if you want to reshape your body, strength training is your best friend. It's going to tone you up. It's going to shape your body the way that you actually want. Number 5, Oh man, so underrated, but so important, which is the mental impact of strength training, the mental health side of things, right? Lifting weights will improve your self confidence. It'll improve your discipline. It'll improve your self image. You'll start liking yourself more, right? You'll start finding yourself that you're checking yourself out in the mirror and you're like, man, I got big arms now, right? You just start thinking that way. You're like, man, and my body reflects what I do every day, right? So without it, you'll just stay stuck in a loop of self doubt and low energy and just doing one diet after the other. So now we've talked about the 5 downsides. We talked about the one upside. I'll give you some more upsides. Okay. Number 2 upside of strength training and why every Muslim woman should be doing strength training is that it helps you age more gracefully. It helps you preserve bone density. It helps you retain the muscle mass you already have from your younger days, because every year after the age of 30 we start losing muscle mass. You are getting weaker every year and you're gaining more fat every year. So you see how, like, as we age, we're like in a downward spiral unless we do something about it. So that brings up another point, because a lot of you also want to improve your posture. You want to improve your stamina and everyday movement. We can't do that if we don't do strength training. Okay. And it's not about being a gym rat. It's about being independent, pain-free, and strong in your 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond. Okay. Another thing it does is that it builds some real self-esteem, self-confidence, because a lot of the time, Muslim women especially, they often feel overlooked. They invest all their time in their kids and family and everybody else's needs, and they feel guilty about themselves. They don't take care of themselves. And then guess what happens? As they get older, mom gets diagnosed with diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol, and then the kids have to pay the price, right? Now the kids have to take care of the mom and all of that. So if you truly want to be there for your family, please take care of your health in your 20s and 30s and 40s. If you don't know where to start, please, 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 please hire me. We will literally change your life. We will coach you. This is what we do for a living. We've done it for a decade. Don't go into this alone. It is a lot more complicated than people make it sound like. Just reach out. Just be like, hey, Mo, I would love some guidance on this. Or Mo, like, how can we talk? And then we'll book a quick consultation for 20 minutes on Zoom or on the phone, and then we'll talk. But overall, I think don't try to do this alone. This is a lot more complicated than it sounds. Far too often I see people stuck in it for years and years and years. Like, I've been posting content on my Instagram for 10 years now. So if you go to Moe Ghias on Instagram, MoeGhias, you can scroll back and you'll see my first post came on like April of 2015. And at the time of recording this is April of 2025. So I've been posting fitness content for 10 years. So I've seen a lot of people that were my followers, people that follow me, talk to me on Instagram since those days, people that are trying to figure it out on your own. There's a lot of people that come to mind that never worked with us. They're just trying to figure it out by following YouTube advice or Instagram advice. This got nowhere. 10 years have gone by. They've already wasted the money. But if you invested $400 or $500 a month into you, your life would have changed. Even if you did it for 3-4 months, your life would have changed, because we would have coached you. You could have gotten a custom plan, direction, coaching, and boom, for the rest of your life, you're set. Like, it's such a bargain if you look at it that way. All right. And then number 4 is strength training is one of the best things that every Muslim and every like traditional person should do, because our foods are heavy in carbs, right? You don't need to give up your culture. If you start building some muscle, you don't need to give up rice. You don't need to give up carbs. You don't need to give up tortillas, right? Like, I eat those things every day and I'm still very lean. The reason being is I lift weights. So I have my muscles are constantly burning through glucose. Whereas a person that doesn't lift weights, doesn't do strength training, the carbohydrates, the process their body digests them through is just storing fat, right? So that's the advantage. That's why when I say like, hey, you can still eat our traditional foods and lose weight, people are like, oh, he's lying. I'm like, no, I'm not lying. I do it, right? And the reason I do it is because I lift weights and my body processes carbohydrates very efficiently than somebody that doesn't. Somebody that doesn't lift weights and all they do is diet control. Diet control is a recipe for freaking failure, okay? So you don't need to give up your culture. Let's set you up with some home workouts. Let's start up there, right? And that's going to allow you to keep eating the carbohydrates, and your body will actually like them. As you start building some muscle, your body wants carbohydrates. They get stored and they look even better. So strength training gives you the flexibility with food because your metabolism is higher. Last one, I already kind of mentioned it, which is you don't even need a gym. If you like going to the gym and you like getting out of the house, totally cool. I do that. But at the same time, you can work out at home. If you're more comfortable working out at home, come work with us. We'll build you a plan that you can do at home, and then we'll change them up. We'll make progress at home. We'll start getting you toned up. We've had clients, the Muslim moms, doctors, busy careers, 2-3 kids at home. They've lost up to 40 pounds just by doing home workouts in the winter in states like New York, in Michigan. Like, it's just, man, if we can do it for them, oh my God, if you live in like warmer states, I feel like we can do magic for you, right? So at the end of the day, strength training gives you that flexibility. And dumbbells and resistance bands at home, kettlebells, enough to start getting results. You just need a good plan. And that's what we build for our clients. We'll guide you step by step with it. But overall, you just need consistency, not perfection, right? So like, start doing some kind of strength training. It is a skill. I'm telling you, it's going to be harder than just jumping on a little bicycle. It's going to be harder than just jumping on a treadmill. It's going to be harder than just doing some elliptical stuff. And that's why often women get stuck on that, because they do the easiest thing they know. They don't know how to lift weights. And then there's a whole lot of cultural baggage that says women shouldn't be lifting weights, but that's a problem. Women should actually be lifting weights and doing it without risking injury. Problem is, half the time I go to the gym, Nate, people are literally, bro, they're just doing things that are not good for them. And like the other day, I go to the gym. Actually, this is about 6 months ago. I went to the gym and I saw even this gentleman that go to the same mosque as me. I just saw him doing like this exercise, and he was horrible technique, horrible form. And I'm like, man, this is another side of fitness training people don't talk about. The reason people avoid strength training is because strength training actually requires a skill. You have to actually learn it. You have to like, I learned from so many coaches over the years, and that was me, somebody who's already self-disciplined and all. Like, there's still a lot of learning to be done. And people think they'll just figure it out on their own. And that's why they've been stuck for years and years and years and years and decades, right? And that's why they just keep doing things that don't serve them. Versus if you just take the time, hire a coach like us, work with us, we'll coach you on it. So for the rest of your life, you earn the skill, right? And don't ever feel bad about investing in a trainer or a coach. And I'll tell you why. Most of us went to colleges. I went to, like, if you're watching this video, you'll see a lot of the medals behind me. I went to college, a private university for engineering and biology, undergraduate for 4.5 years, worked at a hospital for 5 years as a pre-med intern. But overall, all of that to say, we paid $4,000 to $5,000 per class per semester. And some of the classes were like stupid sociology or like, classes that you're never, ever going to use. So it's like, okay, we invested to get a college degree just because our parents said so. This is your life. If you don't take care of your health, if you don't take care of your declining health, dude, even if the culture says don't hire personal trainers, screw the culture. Invest in yourself. The culture is overweight, obese people and diabetic people everywhere. So do you really want to be like everybody else? No. I always wanted to be different. I always wanted to be better. I wanted to be the person that could help the culture, not be a part of the culture, right? One of my friends, he says the best way to help poor people is to not be poor. The best way to help unhealthy people is to not be unhealthy, right? Same thing here. Far too often, I feel like there's this cultural baggage, and it's so sad. Like, I'm going off tangent here, but it's so sad among the Muslim community because I see this a lot. It is more culturally acceptable to have diabetes and hypertension than it is to hire a personal trainer. Most of you don't feel judged. Oh my God. When you talk about, I hired a personal trainer, Aunt Susie, who's 90 pounds overweight, diabetic and hypertension and can't even pray namaz without, bending her knees. Aunt Susie's like, yeah. Oh my God, why are you wasting your money? Why are you splurging? You could have just mixed ginger and turmeric and drank that every morning, and that would have helped you lose 90 pounds. And it's like, Aunt Susie, was that easy? You could have done it too, right? No, Aunt Susie's also fat. Aunt Susie's diabetic. Aunt Susie has insulin resistance. Aunt Susie has high blood pressure. She takes 9 pills every day, right? Pisses me off so much because I see it everywhere. It's so sad. It's more, and you know what's so funny? It's not just the Muslims. I was talking to one of my best friends. He's Hispanic, a Mexican. And he was telling me, he's like, bro, I watched your story when you were talking about that. He's like, it hit home because in my culture, it's the same. I'm like, why is it that Hispanics and our Muslim people, it's more culturally acceptable to have diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and take pills for them, but it is not culturally acceptable to hire a personal trainer? It is so freaking sad. So if this bothers you as much as it bothers me, I want you to not be in that group. I want you to be that person in your family that in 5 years, people look at you, be like, man, he did it. Nowadays, my family looks at me and they ask me for advice all day, every day. I go to family events. I go to Eid. People are looking at what I'm eating. I'm like, hell yeah. 9 years ago, they all made fun of me. They're like, yeah, what kind of engineer goes and becomes a personal trainer? My own parents made fun of me. I hate saying it. They wouldn't admit to it now. But I remember back then it was very lonely. I was like, man, I don't want to eat that. But like now they all look at me. They're like, man, he figured it out because all my cousins have gained a lot of fat and I'm out here rocking my abs. Alhamdulillah. But it was because of all the decisions I made over the years. If you want a different life, you can't do the same things that they're doing. If you want a different health, you can't do the same things they're doing, right? I got super off tangent, but this is a very powerful message that I want all of you to listen. Okay? Don't be a part of the culture that is unhealthy and then ask for their validation. Their validation is not worthy right now. I promise you, they will clap for you in a year or two. They will not clap for you right now. So you got to do this for you. Let's get you healthier. Once you become the role model, they'll all come running to you and ask you for help. But right now, they won't do that. So at the end of the day, if you've been wanting to hire a personal trainer, but Aunt Susie keeps talking you out of it, don't listen to Aunt Susie. Come work with me. We'll keep it super private. No one will even know. No one will even know. But you'll start losing fat. I promise you that. Because we'll actually create a plan, and this is what we do for a living, right? So at the end of the day, if you want my help with it and you're tired and sick and tired of trying to figure this out on your own, because it is actually a lot harder than you thought it would be, then please message me. Instagram, Moe Ghias. Facebook, Moe Ghias. Or go to our website, twtt.us, and you'll get a chance to book a call, okay? All of that to say, this is a problem worthy of getting solved. Do not go another month, another year. Don't let it go to waste. Your health deserves to be prioritized. Otherwise, I'm telling you, it's going to keep declining and things are only going to get harder. Every month that goes by, it gets harder to lose fat and build muscle. So don't wait. This is not a problem you can keep putting off, right? Because if you keep putting it off today, you'll invest in a personal trainer. But if you don't do it, a year from now, you'll be investing in diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and those things are a lot more expensive. And there's no guarantee that those medications will actually even fix you. They're just Band-Aid on a cancer problem, right? So at the end of the day, let's do it the right way, right? Every Muslim woman should be strength training. We should be getting into it. A lot of the time, you don't know how. That's where coaches like me, trainers like me, nutrition people like me, that's why we exist. Hire us, work with us. twtt.us will guide you through it all. But overall, don't be a part of a culture that is unhealthy, out of shape, and makes medications and diabetes and medical problems appropriate. It's not appropriate. It's not good. You're going to give them to your children one day. Your children are going to suffer. And this whole obesity rat race just continues down our bloodlines. And that's not very good. That's not actually very Muslim of you either, right? Isn't the whole point of Islam to take care of yourself so you can worship more? Well, when you're sick, you can't really do that a lot. Matter of fact, you start avoiding going to the mosque because you feel overweight. It's hard for you to go up the stairs. But if you're all healthy and strong and fit, oh my God, the whole generation of people that are healthy just changes the world. Okay. So I hope this helps inspire you. I hope this, gives you the next step. I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know if you're just getting started. If you need help, please reach out. If you like this episode, still reach out. Be like, Mo, that was a great episode. I really liked it. Share it with one of your family members. Spread the message. This is all we do. This is what we live for. So at the end of the day, we can all be better off. Again, I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to reach out. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at Moe Ghias, MOE, G as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.